Good morning, everybody. 8:10 a.m. It is February 23rd. Hope everybody had a good yesterday trading. Me, this is the unfortunate part of trading. I actually had to go into work yesterday, and 2 days in a row, I wanted to go long. Um, Actually, there was a short play in the SPY on, what was that, Wednesday, and it literally was going to take the trade, stalking it, and then my daughter had a parent teacher conference, and I was like, you know what, I can't, I'm just gonna go. And then as soon as I pulled into the parking lot, I saw the market dropped like $1. I was like, wow, that's trading. And then yesterday I had to go into work, and I'm stalking along in the queues at like 4:35, and I was just like waiting, impatiently waiting, and I'm like, I'm gonna go long here. And then again, I had to leave for work, and I'm like, I'm not. And then I look back at work, it went up to like 4:39 or something, whatever it went up to. I'm just like, wow, that's trading. But that's trading for you. At least I knew my ideas were good. That's the only thing I could take out of it. In the past, I probably would have been a lot more upset, but not really. It's just the way it is, you know. That is trading. And welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market. Use gamma exposure levels. Use supply and demand. Anchored VWAPs. Most share price of the year, rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. Just helps me find strength in the market. Who's in control? I mean, nobody has to guess who's in control at all. No one should be in any. There should be no question who's in control of this market. It's the bulls. It's a bull run. It's AI. It's NVDA. It's super microcomputers. It's nuts. 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 The Qs was relatively weak. NVIDIA took that right off the map. It's crazy. Crazy times. Crazy times. Okay, I think they added like 250 billion to their market cap. Something like that. Crazy. Um, let's get into this. All right. And again, what happened yesterday? Shorts had the cover. That's why I was interested in the trade in the Qs. Um, and it would have worked, right? Anyway, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, set an alert. Okay, if you enjoy my content, give me a thumbs up. That would mean a lot. And you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right, let's get right into the watch list. The futures, see what's going on here this morning. It's a little quiet after the ripping huge gap that we made yesterday because of Nvidia's earnings. That was a monster gap, huge. So, and let's look what's going on today. Now, gold up 0.37. 30-year bonds are being bought. The Dow is up 0.11. ES is up 0.09. Silver is up 0.05. Nasdaq's flat. 10-year yield, I would think, might tick down a little bit. And that's the weird part, right? 10-year yield is not like falling or anything. Dollar's down 0.16. Russell is down 0.25. It doesn't get as much love just because of Nvidia, because it doesn't have that their market is not really heavily weighted in any stock. It's kind of equal if you look at all the holdings. Crude down 1.67%, right? They had a surplus in their inventory. So, like, I think they were expecting 3 million, they got 12 million. That means more supply. Okay? That's going to cause less demand. So, that could be a buying opportunity. Could be. Bitcoin might be headed back to 50K just to take some profit taking, down 2.26%. Ether down 2.7%. The VIX is not have a lot of fear in it again. It is down 3.92%. Okay? Let's move on to the Mag 7 Plus. Let's look at this. Snow. Why is that up? Did not report earnings. There's got to be a reason. Maybe I'm just not aware of it yet. However, they are up 2.54%. NVIDIA has cracked 800. It's a huge gamma level, and NVIDIA was 800. I thought it would reach it yesterday. It didn't, but it is there now. Okay. Um, that's the leaders. There's not much after that today. Negative here. You got Amazon down 0.38, Tesla's down 0.63, and coin, obviously with Bitcoin dropping, is down 2.44%. Okay, that is the Mag 7 Plus. Let's move on to top sector stocks. All right, Walmart. Walmart getting ready for that split coming up. That is up 0.56. Costco's up 0.35. Those are staples. So I'm gonna assume in the staple sector uh, should be up. Eli Lilly up 0.24. That's pretty much the leaders there. Laggards, we got Disney 0.17, Chevron down 0.45 with the crude coming down, and Exxon down 0.73 with crude coming down. Okay. Now if we look at swings, we got some earnings, and let's see who Carvana had the earnings. Block had earnings, so they're up pretty nicely, 28.75%, 15.21%. DraftKings, what did they just get? DraftKings, I'll upgrade it to overweight. So DraftKings got an upgrade. They're up 3.16%. AstraZeneca, Taiwan Semiconductors, Affirm. That's the leaders. Now, who we got lag in the pack here? We have Mara, because of the Bitcoin dropping. Riot, EOG. I think they reported earnings. Supermicro Computers is pulling back. That was not. It pulled back to 7 something and shot straight up again. Unbelievable. There's the Bitcoin ETF down 2%. Airbnb, Expedia, MicroStrategy, no Devon Energy, eBay. That's about it for there. All right, let's move back here. All right, now let's go to sectors. Sectors, we have the leader is semis again. NVDA. NVIDIA is part of XLK, so it's up 0.23. Financials, up 0.05. Now, laggard, real estate, discretionary. Discretionary is Tesla, Amazon, Home Depot. And energy, no surprise there with the big boys, Chevron and Exxon down 0.58. Okay. Moving on to some news. Okay. There's not a lot of news really to talk about other than what happened yesterday. Okay, so let's go to some juice here. Let's see if we got anything here. Let's see here. I'm just kind of reading about there's some inflows here. First inflow to both energy and raw materials funds since September 2023. U.S. small caps see largest weekly inflow since June 2022. Investment grade bonds see 16th weekly inflow, longest streak since October 2021. Let's see, investor flows of 15 billion to stocks, 15.2 billion to bonds, 2.1 billion to cash, and 900 million from gold in the latest week. Fed's Cook was talking, and let's see what he said. The forecast of 12-month PCE inflation converging to 2% target over the time still seems reasonable. So that's the headline there from Fed Cook. There is the economic calendar today is very bare. I mean, very bare. All I see is Baker Hughes oil rig count. I mean, that is not a lot. Look at that. It's not even a high impact today. So today I'm seeing relatively low volume. Maybe that's why. Okay. Go to some gapping up and let's see here. Some stocks that are gapping up. Let's look at those. We got Carvana up 29%. Talked about that already. Guidance new CEO. Buybacks. Block. I'm gonna see if anything else to note. Let's see anything else to note here. Plug Power and Uline expand partnership. DWAC filed updates to supplement the proxy statement. Let's see. DraftKings upgraded. Talked about that. Fox A upgraded to buy. HUN, HUN upgraded to overweight. That's why they're gapping up. Let's see, gapping down, right? In the INDI reported earnings, I believe they're down 19.2. Let's see, bookings. Also initiated quarterly dividend, but bookings probably didn't have good earnings. They're down 8.3. Let's see. That's it there. Let's see. Supermicro computers. Okay, here we go. Down 4.4. Price offering of 1.5 billion of convertible senior notes due 2029. Okay. And then Rivian downgraded, Neo downgraded, electric vehicles, right? They're not looking good, so they've been downgraded. Probably why Tesla's not working out too good. And then we have earnings. This morning, Warner Brothers, I believe, did not have the best earnings. Yesterday, we had Block, Carvana. We talked about that. Bookings probably didn't do well. That's pretty much it. So light on news today. Light on news. Let's go right into those daily charts, right? And there's not much to dissect there either. All right, let's just look at this. Oh boy. So the day before we were here, huge gap, right? And what did we do? We opened right here. And what did we do? We touched last week's highs, pulled back to the top of these candles, and then ripped up, right? Made a new all-time high, 508.49, closed here. Okay, where are we now? 508.12. So we're basically holding the highs. That's bullish. Maybe you go sideways, maybe you get a little melt up today. So you're looking at a bullish market right now. Shorts got their faces ripped off yesterday. It's very hard to short this market. Very hard. Very, very, very hard. I mean, you don't get a ton of follow through in this market at all. I mean, even look at these candles. Even if you have a red candle, you get wicks, 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 wicks. You get buying excess every day. It's never just a full, like this is the only candle I'm seeing here, really, that opened here, closed at the lows. I mean, and then look, the next day it was taken. So this market's just so bullish. It's nuts. All right, so the Qs. All right, let's look at those Qs. All right, I told you that 435 right here. I was looking to long right here. That would have been like close to the lows with a risk here, and all the way up there. So huge gap, right? Now look at the Qs underneath the 20 simple moving average, gapped all the way up to here. Where? Right to these two candles. That was why I was so interested in in this long here, because you pulled back, you made a little move. Obviously this is a big candle, so you can't tell the intraday, but you made a little move, and I was waiting for the pullback. Then you got a pullback down to here. Okay, then I was like, okay, what is it going to do at 435? That's why I was interested in, because right here, and then wham, went all the way up, then hit last week's highs. So the Qs actually in my the card in the YouTube thing, actually I guess I was incorrect. Qs did not make a new all-time high. Missed it. The all-time high is still 439.14. Yesterday's high was 439.12. So once it hit last week's highs, people took profit. Where are we now in the Qs? 438.50. We're right at the highs. Bullish right now. The one thing in the Qs to note, right? So if the all-time highs is here, let's say you shorted here, you probably might have got out, but maybe not, right? You didn't get stopped out. This candle, whoever had it stopped there might have, but like right here, there's still more room for shorts here if they shorted here to get their faces ripped off. So there could be some fuel left in the Qs to go higher. Okay. Now I'm going to be cautious with 800 gamma level in the NVDA. Now if it surpasses that when we open, then it becomes even more bullish because then a positive gamma level will become support. So I'm going to be watching that. Okay. And let's look at this crazy bond market. It's just nuts. The bond market's just nuts. All right, what are we at now? 10-year yield is down 0.42. All right. Take a look at this triple-headed monster where the VIX just shows fear for a day or so, and that's about it, right? But the 10-year yield, right? This is still really odd here because you went huge pull down in yields. And now we just been coming, and then this day we came down, right? And then it's just been rising, right? It's rising above the 200-day moving average. You got the 50 days kind of flat, right? 20 days moving higher, 9 EMAs moving higher. So it's trending up, right? Hitting this 100-day moving average. And is it going to break this 4.3, right? Because the next resistance really is probably here at 4.49. That would really be interesting if this does that when yields are rising and the market's going up, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but usually somebody's lying, okay? Just have to keep an eye on it. Now, the VIX is dead. I don't even have to look at that. We're back down to no fear. And this is supposed to be usually a seasonally weak month, February. And seasonality actually has been perfect for the last year. It really has been right in line. And it was because the market was pulling back recently in February, but NVIDIA earnings just changed all that, right? And here's the dollar. So the dollar is getting some weakness here, but it's holding last month's highs, okay? So if this catches a bid, that's not good for commodities, okay, if it catches a bid, okay? And that's the look at the triple-headed monster, all right? And it's probably, I should be calling it just a double-headed monster because the VIX is just dead. Dead, dead, dead. All right. Now, let's go to my favorite thing to look at. Okay, the market profile, volume profile. And I got to shrink this down here. This friggin' huge gap. Monster gap here. All right. Let's get into this profile. And get my trusty marker tool out. Okay. All right, so what the job of the market is right now, right? So the most traded price of the week and the month is still at 449.77 down here. Okay. Now, you can see with the gap up and yesterday's move, you have kind of thin volume, right? All the way up. So what the job of the market is to do is here's value. Here's the most agreed upon price of the month in the week. 49.77. Okay. Now, price is up here at 51.03. Now, when you look at profile, this is how it works, right? Value is here. Price is up there. Can price bring value higher? Okay. If we start to build out volume up here, and you can move the most traded price of the week up, that's very bullish. And then you start to go like this, start to build out value, and you can move higher. Okay. If this starts getting thinner and thinner and thinner, okay, and you can't bring this up, what happens is price returns the value. That's how it works. It's a magnet, right? So can price bring value up? If it can't, price returns back to value. Okay. Just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that. All right, so we're way above this level. It's bullish. Here's yesterday, and we're right at the highs. That's bullish. Okay, so this is all bullish. Like there's no denying it. Okay, there's no denying it. All right, so let's just look at yesterday, right? What did we do? Opened here. This is the only time we came down, right? And in a huge gap. Look at this gap, monster, monster. All right. So, and then we just pushed up, right? Made a lot of volume here, but then that just fueled the rally. Once you hit this and went whoop, you pushed up, right? Little single prints here, single prints here. Okay. So now, how do we look at this? All right. How do we look at this? So we got yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows. Okay. Here's the midpoint, 50, 80. That's the 50%. That's the mid of yesterday, which is the 50% retracement of yesterday's move. Okay, so that's an important level. Okay, now overnight high, overnight low. Okay, now we are close to 100% net long, so that's the only short activity to this much long activity. Okay, we do have somewhat of a weak low here. It is a weak low. You got overnight low and the close or the settlement right here. Okay, and that would be, let me thin this out a little bit. So right here at 50.92. Okay, close is 50.94. So the overnight low is here. You're also, like I said, very long in the overnight. Okay, you got a little baby profile here. It's very balanced. However, it is balanced, but it's all long. Everybody's long from here, from here, from here. Okay, very important to note that. Okay, I'm not calling for a bear market. I'm just stating an obvious fact. Okay, so, and you have a demand zone here. So if this market comes down here, it's very susceptible to get this broken. You got single prints here. We could find ourselves testing yesterday's most traded price or this demand. Okay, profit taking could ensue. Now the market's pushing up now. Needs to make some excess, which is fine, right? Even makes it better if you want to fade the market. Okay, and really watch NVDA. Okay, like I said, 800. Breaks 800 and starts to go down, just keep your eyes open to that. Okay, so we got our weak low, and we're starting to have a weak high. If we come up here, and we do have a poor high, I have to say, in yesterday's market. So that's a double top in the 30-minute bars. So see how this is poor high here? That means this needs to be corrected. Meaning this doesn't have excess like a normal profile. It's kind of flat. And I know you can't see it as that well here. Okay, but this is begging to be broken. So if you break that, cause the excess, this could be the quick fade, come back down here, and you could very much find ourselves here. And it just means that the market could bounce off here, or it could make the move higher. Okay, when you have a big move, like a big gap up, the market might need to digest this. Doesn't mean you can't do that. You can't. Okay, so let's just get into scenarios. Enough of this me blabbering. Alright, let's look at this together. Now bullish. Bullish scenario, okay? Now remember, I said this weak low was important here. Right? It's also could be a buy point in defense for the bulls. So what I see happening is this poor low, poor high. It's going to be a weak high. Poor high from yesterday, but weak high with the overnight high. Very much well see excess pulled in. Okay? If that happens, go without me. Come back down, right? Then you're going to take out this liquidity from overnight. And here's could be a little bear trap. You come in here, this demand zone, and of course you can just pop out of it, right? And we can go higher, right? Also could do a little bear trap. You can come down real quick, take out those single prints, recover, go up, right? That's one. The second one is you got that 50, 80, 50% retracement line. People are going to be watching that. We could come down there and push up. This is all bullish, okay? All bullish. If you were fall farther, you can still go down to the most traded price of yesterday, hit this demand zone that hasn't even been tested yet, and also come up. Now this, I don't know if you'd come up and break out. You might come up and just balance off here. So those are the bullish things I would be interested in. All right. Now, if you're talking about the bearish plays, well, I just gave you one here, right? If we come up, which I expect to get excess put in. Now, excess usually means the end of the auction. Can't go any higher. There it is. Okay. This doesn't count. This poor high correction doesn't count until we start real-time trading hours. But this little excess right here, I expect us to at least make more excess. Come back. Now look, most trader price of the overnight is right there. If you come back through, and like I said, this week low right here, if you break that and hold, we're going to test yesterday's most traded price here. And then go down to this demand zone. Okay. And there's the gap. Now, we could just bounce up and bounce off the rest of that's all you get. If we break and start filling this gap, woo, another demand zone and week-to-day VWAP here, I don't know. But this could get a little crazy. Remember, all this volume is thin. So, again, the volume right now is very light, so I'm not sure. Could get a melt up today. Like I said, I expect some pullback to happen eventually. It might not come, right? I don't know. Market's not super strong right now, but it's strong because it's holding the higher prices. Okay? Holding the higher prices. Now, let's move over to the Qs. Okay? Now, every day I do this live with you guys. I don't even know what I'm going to say before I look at this. So, I don't even know. So, that's just years of doing this. I don't have to study it. It comes right immediately when I look at the chart. Okay? So, this is the Qs. All right, what did we do yesterday? Now, the Qs, that's why I was also interested in that long. Now, what the Qs did, opened here, right? It pushed up, but then came back down, right? It tested the most traded price of the month, right here. That was number one why I liked it, right? Number two, it made demand zone. It came into the demand zone. That's another reason why I liked it, right? And that's where it, then it took off. Why? Because you had a lot of shorts here that have not got hurt yet. That's why I really liked it. Okay. Still more room to blast off. All right. Now let's look at the profile. Profiles like we got the most traded price all the way down here of the week. The most traded price of the month's up here, right? You're above those levels, so it's bullish. Your price is right there. Okay. Profile, not as thin as the ES. Not as thin. Okay, now what do we have here? We have a poor high, so you have a double top and 30-minute bars in the Nasdaq. So you have a weak high and a poor high, begging to get broke. Begging. It's in a supply zone right now. Okay, I had a supply zone here that already got taken out. So let's get rid of that. That's gone now. Okay. So we're looking at the same kind of structure, okay? Here's the midpoint, 179.76, right here. Okay, here's the close of yesterday, overnight lows. Not as perfect as the ES, okay? Not as perfect. So the overnight low's here. I would still count this as a defense point. I like the ES structure better. Okay, we are going into supply here. So I expect, again, just like here, for this to be broken and us to do this. If we go to the edge of the supply and don't break that supply zone, that's even better. Okay, if you want to play short. And then you can make your move down. Okay, just trying to see some nuance here. Let's see here. Most traded prices down here. Okay, you got a very balanced profile. See this profile? Very balanced. Now, you're not as long as the ES is, surprisingly. Okay, here's the midpoint. So you're about 75% net long. Not as great as the ES looks. Okay, now you have excess here, putting it in. So it's setting up kind of nicely for a possible fade. And again, fade meaning you're not going to sell to the bottom today, meaning you just take the froth off this move. You know, can we move back to here today? Very possible. Okay. So very similar setup. You have demand zone here, but in the Nasdaq you even have this huge level, the most traded price of the month with the demand. Okay. So let's get right into scenarios. Okay, let's get right into them. All right. So what I believe will happen, I believe the market stays up here. We will break the poor high and put an excess in. Okay. If we do that, you can go without me. But if we kind of pull back, your first test is overnight low. Right there. Okay. If that gets defended, and it could actually slip down to the 50% retracement yesterday, you start getting some buyers pulling in, well, then you're going to come back, and we're probably going to go higher, right? That's number one. Number two, if we do pull back a little farther, hit the most traded price of yesterday, even dip into this demand, okay, you could jump right out of it, or even you got this level here, the huge level, the most traded price of the month. Even if you come into that, start making lower highs, boom, you could start taking off and moving up as well. That's really all I'd be interested in. Okay. As far as the bear, we have the overnight low here. Right, this little box here, the 50% retracement in the overnight low, you need to defend that if you're a bull. So, and you got supply, overhead supply. So if this market's pulling back a little bit, so that's fine, because I think it's revved to break this. So we're going to come up here, probably going to break it. If we don't break that supply, even better. Come through the open. Now you got the most traded price of the overnight here. You can cut through that. You're going to test. Let's make this cleaner. Come up here. If you come through, say this is the open, you come through the open, and you break this most traded price of the overnight, you're gonna test the overnight lows right here. If this market's super weak, you're gonna break right through that, and you're gonna probably test the most traded price of yesterday, and most likely we'll probably test this demand. And then, like I said, this could be just a pullback, right? If you break this big level, you do have another demand here, this could really get crazy, and we could fall all the way down to monthly VWAP and weekly day VWAP and the most traded price of the year, which is 17,700. I don't know if that happens, but if you break this big level, that should get a reaction. Okay, that's going to be it for those markets. Okay, the only thing I want to look at is crude and show you guys what's going on with crude. Here's crude, okay? Very, very balanced. I don't talk about crude a lot, okay? But I talk about it, but I don't talk about the trading of it. Look how balanced this is. It's just priming for a big move. That is just balance. Most traded price of the month, most traded price of the week, stacked together. That means huge moves coming above the week to week, the monthly VWAP above it. Okay, buyers are in control for the month. Sellers are in control for the week. Okay, Now, this is 100% net short in the overnight, all the way here. You're breaking yesterday's lows, you're gapping down. If this starts to come back, crude can, if it rips through this area, whew, look out. Look out. Okay? Now, crude opens at 9 a.m., the futures. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Okay? But this area here, when you're in the middle of it, it's a little easier to go through these because then you come back. Okay? But these levels, whenever you get the most traded price of the month and the week together and they just stacked like that, you're getting a big move. And that means this could either go like this or this. All right, so just wanted to leave you guys with that. Not sure of anybody who trades crude. But that's going to be it for me. That's going to be it for this week, obviously. Everybody have a good weekend. Look forward to next week. Stay patient today. Usually after 1 p.m. on a Friday, not a lot of good things happen. All right, the volume's a little low right now, but that could change. All right, so I wish everybody good luck. Stay green. All right, give me a like if you enjoy what you saw, and take care, everybody. All right, have a great weekend.